Hi! Welcome back to the Bill Russo YouTube channel. We have for you now, Episode 2 of the lost and forgotten 1960s TV series, Frontier Circus. The circus has leased a big plot of land for a one-week stay at a new community. But it turns out that the land is owned by the estranged husband of the star attraction of the show, a female sharpshooter named Bonnie. She's unnerved about seeing her ex-husband and her child. She's so upset that she shoots her assistant by accident during a performance. Now, here is the smallest target. It is Episode 2 of Frontier Circus.
Down. I said take it down.
Well, seeing you're the man that rented us the circus. Wait a minute.
Better clear out of here, both of you.
We'll be around for a couple more days. We're bound to meet up again. Come on.
You pack those wheels and check all the locks. Don't do it until after this is over.
Sorry, mister.
It's all right. Say, don't I know you?
Sure. Richie Osborne, don't you remember? I met you the day you rented the land for my pa.
Oh, sure I remember. Well, what do you think of this?
Gosh, I've never seen a real circus before. It's great.
Yeah, the first one you see is the one you never forget, even if you live to be 100.
My pa says I can come every day.
Well, fine. The place is yours. Only don't get in anyone's way, huh?
I won't.
Fool kid.
Sorry, lady.
Didn't your folks ever teach you to keep your hands off things that don't belong to you?
Didn't take you long to meet the star of our show.
I'm sorry, kid, but you shouldn't fool around with guns.
She's right, you know. Bonnie, this is our landlord's son.
I don't care whose son he is.
Well, Master Osborne, it seems you made the wrong impression on our prima donna.
Osborne?
Dan Osborne. We leased the land from him.
What's your full name?
Richard, but my pa and folks call me Richie.
Come on, Richie, we better move on. We've bothered
No.
Bonnie.
No, you go on ahead, Ben. Oh, it doesn't bother me. You know, I don't often get a chance to talk guns with someone as interested as you are. Here, go ahead. Take it. It's all right. Get the feel of it.
Thank you.
You live around here?
Yes, ma'am. Hey, City. Or is this ever something?
How old are you, Richie?
I'm 10, ma'am.
Oh, I think a boy ought to, have a gun as soon as he's old enough. Just so as he respects what I can do. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I guess so. I got a rifle for my last birthday, but I'd give anything for a gun like this.
Not anything, Richie. You know, you never want to place too high a price on something you want. Else you find yourself paying a price you'll regret the rest of your life.
Yes, ma'am?
Now listen to me. We just met and I'm already giving you a sermon. Well, now, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, guns.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have them all specially made?
Oh, most of them. You know how you get to understand your own gun and how it sort of feels in your hands. That's the way it has to be if you want to do trick shooting.
My father's the best shot around. For a man, that is. I've never seen a lady shoot. Reckon they're all afraid of guns.
Your mother afraid of guns?
My mother died when I was little. I don't even remember her. Why would I ever like to shoot this one?
Perhaps you can.
You really mean that?
Cross my heart. If we can arrange it. Here, boy, let me show you how to hold this. That's right.
Watch where you're going.
You go along, Tony, and whatever this is, Ben and I can handle it. Oh, hello, Mr. Osborne. I want to talk to you, Thompson.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to pack up and get out.
What's the trouble, sir?
There's no trouble. I just want you off my land.
Just like that.
You can find another place.
Do you know how much work it is to move a circus?
I'm sorry about that.
You're sorry. Now, we have a signed contract with you.
Mr. Osborne, if you can give me a logical reason why I should not only inconvenience my troop, but lose money, then we might consider this.
I don't have to give you any reason.
But, sir, we have a legally executed lease on that land for 3 days.
And I'll make good any loss you have to take.
But I'm still waiting for the answer.
You can keep on waiting.
Easy, Casey. Let him get a court order evicting us.
It'll take me a week to do that.
Sure will. 3 days ride to the territorial office. 1 day to get the order, if you can get it. 3 days back. That's a week. Where'll we be in a week's time?
Wichita?
Mr. Osborne, here's the rest of our bargain.
What's that?
Complimentary passage to the T&T Circus.
Hey, Pa!
Come on, Richie. We're going home.
I gotta go now, ma'am.
Promise you'll come back?
I sure will, ma'am. I mean, Bonnie.
What were you and that lady talking about?
Lots of things.
Like what?
Oh, about guns, mostly.
That all? Anything else?
No, nothing special. She asked a lot of questions. Dad, do you think a woman could beat a man at shooting?
Oh, I don't know. Some of them could, I guess.
Really? Dad, it just doesn't seem right for a woman to beat a man at shooting.
What kind of questions was she asking you?
Oh, you know, how old I am, and all that stuff.
Hey, I got something for you. Wait. Here you are. Thompson Travis Circus, it says. We go tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Now, that's the only time we're going to go, see?
But, Pa, you said I could spend all the time I wanted there.
I know I did, Rich, but I had to change my mind.
But why? Ah, gee whiz.
Look, Rich, I want you to promise me you're not going to go over there alone anytime.
But, Pa, only once. The other kids will go every day.
I wouldn't ask you if it wasn't important to me.
Then say you'll take me more than once.
No bargains. All right. But we're going to go together, and you don't go over there alone anytime. Got your word?
Yep, I promise.
It's a deal, partner.
Huh? Oh, hi, Casey.
See you Monday, Polly?
Oh, anytime, Casey. Sit down. I'll get you a cup of coffee.
Thank you. Hey. 1 in 1,000. You know this is the finest carbine ever made. You can leave this to me, and you will if you want to.
You come talk about guns?
You know I didn't. I'm just an old snoop, you know that. I admit it. You know how I feel about the people on this circus, like my family.
Got problems of your own, Casey.
They always say I'm blind to everything but $1 and a Rube's jeans. Bonnie, who was that kid you were with?
Just a kid from town.
A lot of kids in town. Why'd you fuss over that one?
He's my son, Casey.
Mm-hmm. I'd have known that we wouldn't have played this time.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm glad.
Just father?
Dan, I don't know how I feel about him. Trouble is, I can't forget the past.
None of us can, and it's kind of foolish to try. Now that we're here, maybe you can work something out.
Not a chance. I'm concerned, and Osborne wouldn't budge an inch. But am I asking too much? Just to see the boy?
That's your answer, Bonnie. Being out of the boy's life so long and now coming back into it.
I wish you won't be hurt. Nobody has to worry about that.
I'd bet my bottom dollar on that. Sure wish you'd leave me this gun, though.
All right, what's the matter?
Well, that bridge that's crossing the river bends washed clean out. Floods, I guess.
Is there any other way out of here?
No, there isn't as far as I can see, Ben.
All right, let's tell Casey.
Gentlemen, there she be. We're going to have to fix her or else backtrack about 60 miles.
What do you think, Ben? I don't know. It looks like it'll take a corps of engineers to fix it in time for us to leave.
Tony, you think you can do what a corps of engineers can do?
Never say die, Colonel. I just work the men around the clock is all.
Bullseye. What are you shooting there, Park? Buffalo?
Pete and the other boys say you're the best shot in the territory, Pa. Can you shoot as good as Miss Stevens?
I don't know, son. Can I?
Pa, what's the matter?
What?
You didn't talk to me all through supper. Sore at me?
No. No, I got a lot on my mind. Just business.
You know, we're going to have to do a little fence fixing down on that lower 40. A couple of head of horses got in there yesterday.
I'll fix it.
Dan, that was a foolish thing you did today. Boys in the bunkhouse still gabbing about it.
Well, what do you want me to do? Tell them to quit talking?
No, what I can't understand is how a sensible, level-headed man could behave like a...
Like a fool, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Pete, I saw that picture of her, and after all these years, I don't know, something went haywire.
Still feel that strong about her, huh? Well, I'll say this, she was a mighty pretty little thing.
Well, she's still pretty. She hasn't changed a day. That kind never does.
I know you got bitter feelings toward her, but I reckon you're entitled to them.
I'm worrying about Richie now. She's seen him. She's been talking to him.
Well, it's none of my business, but strikes me after all these years, she's certainly got a right to have a look at him.
Well, she's seen him now. She can leave the same way she came in.
What if she wants to see him again?
I won't let her see him again.
Oh, Dan, she's the boy's mother.
You shut up. She gave up every right she had to him. You know that.
Dan? You and me have been friends for a lot of years.
Don't preach to me, Pete.
I'm not going to preach to you. I just want to say one thing. Don't force it. Just let it take its natural course.
Good night, Pete.
All right.
Who is it?
Dan Osborne.
Just a minute. Come on in, Dan. Would you like to sit down?
No.
I was just having some coffee. Would you like me to pour you a cup?
No, I don't want anything, please.
Richie looks fine, Dan. I'm real proud.
Why should you be proud?
The seasons come and go. The birds fly north and south. Children are born and people die. But Dan Osborne never changes.
Well, what about
about you? Looks like you got everything you ever wanted.
Not everything.
What'd you come back here for, then?
I didn't plan it this way. It just happened.
You want me to believe that?
Oh, please, Dan. I don't want to quarrel.
And you stay away from Richie, you hear?
Well, what harm is there if I just see the boy? The circus will move on, and so will I.
No.
Please.
I said no.
You waited a long time for this, haven't you, Dan?
Oh, I didn't. I prayed I'd never meet you again.
That's a lie. Why, you hoped I'd come here and get down on my knees and beg for the chance to see my son. Well, all right, Dan, you can have your revenge. I'll get down on my knees. I'll beg.
Oh, you know better than that.
Well, then what is it? Why? Why can't I just see him?
Because as far as that boy's concerned, his mother is dead.
Did you have to tell him that?
Well, what else do you want me to tell him? How do you explain to a kid that his mother'd rather have this than him? Even if you hated me. You owe the boy more than that.
10 years have passed, Dan.
Those were the years when he needed you most. He doesn't need you now.
Needs? What about my needs?
Well, you've got all this, haven't you? Sure, you can take a bow, Miss Stevens.
Yeah.
You're famous, aren't you? What more do you want?
You're right, Dan. You never lost an argument in your life, did you?
Oh, and I'm not going to lose this one. Because nothing else means anything to me but that boy. Your needs. I figured if you had any love left for him, you'd forget about yourself for once.
Circus is offering any man or woman $100. Let me repeat that, $100. If he or she can match the shooting skill of our shooting star, Miss Bonnie Stevens. Miss Stevens, take a bow. Now, folks, before you rush up here claiming that $100, I'd like to let you know what you're up against. Miss Stevens. Now let's show them what the competition is like, Miss Stevens. Bravo! Yes, sir. That's what I call real shooting. Now, is there some lady or some gentleman who would like to match the skill of our shooting star, Miss Stevens?
My pa.
Is that all right with your father, boy?
Nobody can outshoot my pa.
That's up to you, Mr. Hoffman.
My pa's a better shot than anybody.
Not today, thanks. Come on.
Pa, show him up, please. Please, Pa.
What's the matter, mister? Afraid a woman can outshoot you?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first shooting match between Mr. Dan Osborne of Hayes City, Miss Bonnie Stevens, requiring steel nerves and keen eyesight. An example of marksmanship and fine shooting. $50 on Miss Bonnie, Jack. shooting? You ready to give up, Miss Stevens?
Not yet. A moving target.
Sam? The moving target.
Bonnie, this is dirty pool.
He's got to be taught a lesson.
I guess that beats me. Come on, son.
But you didn't even try. You didn't even try.
Since when did you use that blindfold bit in competition before? You know that's a special trick and not just based on shooting ability.
I wanted to beat him any way I could.
All right, you did, but was it worth it?
Look, I've got 2 shows today. I want to get some reps.
Sure. Bonnie, before you destroy what's between your son and his father, is that the way you want things?
Your father couldn't hit the side of the barn. Yeah. You take that back. Can't even beat a woman. Come on,
Come on, the rest of you, back to your business. Come on now, back to your business. Come on, what's the matter?
Gee.
We're showing off.
Well, Mrs. Osborne,
How did you know?
Casey told me. Leave him alone, Bonnie. Needs time by himself. Come on.
I grew up in a circus. I was just 17 when I married Dan. Oh, I was sick of tents and tan bark, and I thought I wanted a home and to settle down. But it didn't work out that way. Oh, I was so out of place. We lived 10 miles from our nearest neighbor, and I thought I'd go out of my mind.
So you ran out.
Yeah, like a fool kid. I wrote down a note, and I left the baby with the ranch foreman's wife. They didn't have any kids, and she adored him, and I didn't want him to grow up the way I did, living from pillar to post, you know? So, as soon as I got it through my head what I'd done, I went back to try and beg Dan to forgive me. But he'd sold out, and he disappeared with the baby. I guess I figured I didn't deserve either one of them. And then I tried to forget it.
I'm sorry, Bonnie.
Ben, have you seen that kid? Can you imagine me having a kid like that? But it isn't fair. It just isn't fair. I know I did wrong, Ben, but I spent 10 long years trying to make up for what I did. I'm not a bad person. I don't care what Dan says. He's mine. That boy is mine, and I want him. And I'm not leaving here without him.
Even if Osborne would let him go, Circus is no place to raise a boy. Well, you said so yourself, Bonnie.
Look, Ben, I could put him in a good school. Why, in a year or so, I'll have enough money to retire.
Bonnie, I have no right to be your judge, so I'm not going to tell you not to. But do yourself a favor. Don't make a hasty decision.
coming.
We've got enough wood, Ben. I could sure use some more hands, though.
What about the citizens of Hayes City? Seems to me it'd be as much to their benefit as ours to fix this thing.
Ben, they're enjoying the circus so much they got no time for civic things like this.
I'll send you as many men as we can spare.
You all right, son?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I think so, right, Joe?
I'm sorry, Bonnie.
That's all right. Richie, you gotta watch out where you're going around a circus.
Golly, Pa's gonna be real mad.
Well, accidents can happen to anybody. Come on, I'll take you over to my wagon and we'll see if we can find something for you to change into.
No, I gotta hurry. I'm late.
All right, stubborn. Where do we find your house then? One way or the other, make up your mind. I want to make sure you get into some dry clothes.
Richie,
Richie's getting dressed down here.
I told him not to go near that circus alone.
He didn't.
I told you to stay away from him.
Don't you be such a stubborn fool, Dan. Give that boy a chance to explain.
Richie!
Richie, you stay in there.
This is none of your business.
I'm his mother.
My mother's dead. It's the truth, Pa, isn't it? My mother's dead. You told me that.
Richie.
Son. Feel better now?
If you weren't so pig-headed, this wouldn't have happened.
Get out of here, Bonnie. I don't expect you to understand, Richie, not yet. See, I'm trying to make a good home for her. Her and you. She just didn't want it. She ran off to the circus because it meant more to her than you.
You lied to me.
I had to lie to you, Richie.
You told me my mother was dead, and you lied.
Come on, Bonnie. Bonnie, you all right?
Go, Casey. I'll be along in a few minutes.
Hey, now, what's the trouble?
She knows.
Bonnie, you had to find out sometime.
Oh, Casey, if you could have seen the way he looked at me. Like he hated me.
You can miss your ballyhoo act in the next performance. It's our last show here anyway.
Oh, no. No, please.
You're not in any condition to go on.
Well, it's not going to do me any good sitting here thinking about it. Casey, you really want to do me a favor?
I sure do.
Well, forget about this and keep it to yourself, huh?
You bet I will.
what you're going to see before you see what's going on in the inside. The most daring feat performed anywhere. Mimi, back to the wheel. That young lady is going back there to the rear to the wheel to be strapped on that wheel, and our shooting star, Miss Bonnie Stevens, the greatest shot in the world, will fire at that moving wheel and place a row of bullets around that young lady. Miss Stevens? She's gonna be all right.
How is she?
Just a flesh wound.
What do you think?
I don't know, Ben. Bonnie worried about that boy.
Well, this was just a near miss. You know, we can't gamble again.
I don't think Bonnie'd gamble on hurting anyone. Thank goodness this is our last show here. We'll be pulling up stakes.
Moving out? Now, we can't move until we're sure Tony's finished that fool bridge.
Tony's gonna have that fool bridge finished.
Well, there she be, boys. Let's just pray she holds, huh?
Richie, we're moving out. You shouldn't be here. Now, you get along home.
Oh, no, please. I don't want to go home. I want to stay here with you. Please.
Oh, Richie, your father. Now, you know, running away isn't right. Oh, Richie, I want you. You know that, don't you? But I can't keep you here.
Please. I wouldn't touch your guns. Nothing. Just please let me stay with you, please.
Richie, if you stay, well, you have to keep out of sight. Not let anyone know you're here.
I promise. Just let me stay with you, please.
Oh, you'll stay. No one will ever take you away from me.
Dan, kids do foolish things sometimes. Richie ain't in his room and he's nowhere in the house.
Maybe he went down the bunkhouse.
No, he's not down there. He's run off. This note was pinned to the wall in his room, and it's for you.
Says he don't want to see me again.
He's just a kid.
It's her doing, Pete. She's behind that.
You don't know that for sure, Dan.
I'm going to find him if I got to take that circus apart.
try. Tony, go up forward. Okay. Heave now. Heave. Heave. Again. Heave. Again. Well, what is it this time, Osborne?
Where's Bonnie?
Look, we got enough grief of our own.
My son's with her.
Boy's not here.
I say he is.
You can take my word for it.
Well, that's not good enough for me.
I'm afraid it's going to have to be.
I want Richie.
He's in my wagon.
I didn't know the boy was there.
I'm sorry, Casey.
I'm taking him home.
All right, you can, if he wants to go.
All right, let's get back to that wagon. Come on.
Well, I swear he was here just a few minutes ago.
Don't worry. He's probably around some of the wagons someplace. We'll find your boy.
Well, I hope you're satisfied. He ran away because of you. Richie?
There he is. Richie, wait.
Richie!
I better go see if he's all right.
Mr. Osborne, your boy's still resting. I wish you wouldn't go over there, sir. Besides, I'm inviting myself to see if you two couldn't settle this thing about the boy. Huh?
Well, everything was all right.
Until I came back. Is that what you're
Nobody's
going to say?
asking me, but I'm saying it anyhow. I don't think things have been all right for a long time. You know, I figured what happened here kind of knocked some sense into your heads, but it's plain to see it hasn't done a thing. You two seem to delight in being stupid, stubborn, maybe a little blind.
Well, since that's any of your business, you can keep out of this.
Wait a minute, fella. I'm the one to decide what's my business. You give the circus a lot of grief, and this circus isn't my business. I don't know what is. Now, I'm going to start doing the talking here, so I want you two to listen. They say life is like a circle, nice now. Someday, your boy Richie's going to grow up, and he's going to get married and have children of his own. But I'll bet the life he had as a boy will certainly determine the kind of father or husband he's going to make. You're two pretty good shots with a gun, aren't you? Why don't you stop setting that boy up as a target?
She walked out and left both of us 10 years ago. Now she comes back here and expects.
She's got a right to expect something. She's his mother.
Oh, forget it, Casey. It's not going to do any good.
I reckon not, Bonnie. You're not being a whole lot of help, letting your stubborn pride stand in the way to the answer to this.
Well, what answer is there?
A boy needs a father and a mother.
I've been doing so good trying to be both.
Stop crying in the buttermilk, Bonnie. You've been threatening to leave this show for years and settle down. What the heck are you waiting for? One in 1,000. I'm mighty grateful to you, Mrs. Osborne.
I'm mighty grateful to you, Casey.
AC, they're ready to roll. All right, let's roll them out. Goodbye, Bonnie. Mr. Hopper? Richie, see you the next time we play Hayes City. All right, let's roll them out.